Welcome to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Planning your Caribbean itinerary? Here's what you absolutely need to see. From the famous to the places even local say travelers overlook, these are the experiences you cannot skip when visiting St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let's get into it. What's up, Explorers?
Welcome back to our channel. We're the Choose here from Choose to Explore, where we teach you guys how to see the world
and save $1.
So we just came back from what I think is one of the biggest hidden gems in the Caribbean.
This island nation is overlooked and underrated for sure.
And we're talking about St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So before planning this trip to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we didn't see too many people visiting this beautiful island nation.
But we think that needs to change,
because we saw so many beautiful and amazing things here. By the end of this video, we hope that everybody will book a trip to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Or at least add it to your bucket list. We're going to give you the top things to do in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so stay tuned.
If you guys are like us, you don't listen to the advice of TLC. And you do chase as many waterfalls as you can.
So right here in St. Vincent, you can check out Darkview Falls, which is actually a beautiful double waterfall right on the leeward side, and it's only $5 to enter for non-nationals.
Now, one of the best things about the tourist attractions on the island is if you are a local or if you are from local Caribbean islands, like me being Jamaican, you could get a local price. So instead of paying $5 US for the foreigner price, I got the local price, which is under $1 US.
So for me, I like to think I love hiking. However, if I'm being real with myself, I just really like nature walks. And this was something that was very much my pace. After parking, it was only about a 5-minute walk to the first falls, and that was incredible for me. Now, if you want to get to the second falls, you do have to go up quite a few stairs, and if it's hot, it could feel like a million stairs. But it honestly wasn't bad, and it's definitely well worth it.
Also, I do want to note that the lower falls was so beautiful, and it even had like a wading pool that was probably about 3-4 feet deep. And you could just sit around and hang out in the pool.
Yeah.
Water was cool, even though it is fresh water, and definitely relaxing.
Yeah, definitely a great way to cool off.
I don't know if it was the time of the year that we went, but there was really nobody around. We basically had both of these falls all to ourselves.
Now, I love a good viewpoint, and one to check out is Belmont Lookout. And this was really great because it was pretty close to the airport, and it was one of the first things that we did.
So because of its proximity to the Argyle Airport, I would definitely recommend either starting your trip or ending your trip with the Belmont Lookout. I love St. Vincent because it's mountainous structure with the hills, just looking out and seeing the beautiful views. You look to one side and you have the ocean, you look to the other side and you have the lush and the green, and it's so beautiful.
And you can't forget about all the beautiful, colorful houses as well.
But one thing that I definitely would recommend is, ladies, leave the lashes, leave the glue down wigs, because they might get blown away over here.
Fellas, leave the toupees.
Don't worry, we're good on this side. So next thing we're going to talk about is something that we didn't do because the queen right here is a nature girl walker and not a hiker.
I mean, in theory, I do like to hike, but if you are a hiker, I would say this is a must-do.
And this is to hike the Soufriere Volcano. So the volcano is huge, and I would definitely recommend to hire a local or a tour guide to take you up there because there are so many different ways to go. So there are different designated paths and viewpoints, so it can be helpful to have a local to take you there. Also, because St. Vincent and the Grenadines is so hot, I would recommend to go early in the morning because you don't want to be hiking a volcano midday. But we actually drove all the way on the leeward side just to get beautiful views of the volcano, and they did not disappoint.
And honestly, that was enough for me just seeing the volcano. So if you're more like a me traveler, you can do that too. But definitely the volcano should be on the list. Are you getting anything from this video? If so, please be sure to give us a like, and if you're watching this within the first 7 days of this video coming out, be sure to hype it as well so it can reach through the algorithm to other like-minded travelers.
Also, please subscribe right now.
Yeah.
The next thing that we're going to talk about is exploring the capital, which is Kingstown. So Kingstown has so much. I'm talking about lots of people, lots of traffic, especially during rush hour. You have churches here, you have restaurants. This is actually where the cruise port is, and so many other attractions that we'd recommend.
One of those being Fort Charlotte.
So we actually did visit Fort Charlotte, and it's actually on top of a bunch of hills, and it has an amazing viewpoint. I think it makes sense to put a fort here so you can look out and protect what's down below, but the viewpoint here is amazing. Actually, while we were here, it was under construction, so we didn't enter it, but just being here and seeing the views, it was definitely worth it.
And while you're in Kingstown, you can also check out the Botanical Gardens. So if you're coming to an island, you're going to want to see beautiful beaches, and St. Vincent has plenty.
So if you guys have been following us and you know the queen right here, you know that she's a beach girly. And these are the top beaches that we visited. The first one that we're going to talk about is Buccament Bay. And it's actually right next to the beautiful Sandals St. Vincent. Buccament Bay is going to be a great place to visit, especially if you like snorkeling. During our stay in Sandals St. Vincent, we got complimentary kayaks and we actually were kayaking over to Buccament Bay, and it was just so beautiful. The next beach that we're going to talk about is Indian Bay Beach. And we love this beach because it's different than a lot of the beaches in St. Vincent. So this beach is on the southern side, and it was amazing because it's actually a mix of two different types of sand. On one side we saw brown sand, and on the other side we saw black sand, and the way that they mixed together, it was just so beautiful. Also, this was more of a local beach, and it was amazing.
The water was clear and it had beautiful shades of blue.
And the last beach that I'll mention is Wallilabou. I thought that this beach would be super packed with tourists because it's actually where Pirates of the Caribbean was filmed, but we found it to be pretty much a local beach.
It was literally just us and 2 other people with the baby.
And I got to do a lot of snorkeling here, and even though it was black sand, the water was super clear and super blue. I definitely recommend bringing your snorkels to Wallilabou.
And this ties perfectly to our next thing to do.
And that's going to be Pirates of the Caribbean Rock. So a lot of the Vincies take pride in that different scenes of Pirates of the Caribbean were filmed here. But the Pirates of the Caribbean Rock is significant because that's actually where Captain Jack Sparrow was hung from in the movie. Fun fact is it's right next to Wallilabou Beach, but from the beach you actually can't see it. It's like around the corner. So we were actually blessed to meet a local named Mark who took us on his boat and took us to the Pirates of the Caribbean Rock. He gave us our own private tour and told us all about the rock. He took us to a bat cave, and we just had an amazing day on the sea with Mark. So if you are interested in getting Mark's details, you can find that on our St. Vincent and Grenadines travel guide linked in the description below.
And on choosetoexplore.com. Now, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is clearly so much more than just St. Vincent. It's over 30 islands, and the largest island of the Grenadines is actually Bequia, which is about 7 square miles, and a lot of people do day trips there. There's lots of things to do here, beautiful beaches to explore.
This is a perfect day trip where you can take the ferry over. Just be cognizant of the departure times, going and returning.
Or just plan to stay overnight.
And while Bequia is a part of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, its vibe is going to be a little bit different than St. Vincent. Here you're going to find beach clubs. Also, they're not going to have black sand beaches. The beaches here are going to be more white sand. So if that's your vibe, Bequia day trip is the way to go. Also, I did hear that there's amazing snorkeling here in Bequia as well. So the next part that we're going to talk about is honestly my favorite thing that we did in St. Vincent and Grenadines, and that's the Owia Salt Pond. Now this is all the way on the windward side of the island. This side of the island, you'll find a lot less people. I mean, even talking to the people who worked at Sandals St. Vincent, a lot of them have never even been to the windward side. But honestly, it wasn't even that far. It was like 1:45 and the drive was pretty easy.
And the drive was definitely worth it. It felt like we were in the middle of another planet, like on the moon, in a crater. It's a protected salt pool, so all the waves are crashing around you, and you're protected by the rocks.
Yeah, we were just floating in the salt water. It has this amazing view when you go down the stairs and you just see it, and you can't believe that you're on this earth.
So along the rocks, we did see little crabs there, and we basically had the whole entire place to ourselves. It was incredible.
So there was an entrance fee of $5 for foreigners, but as a Jamaican, I got the local price, which is 5 EC, which is a little under $2.
Our next top thing to do is going on a Tobago Cays day trip. Now you definitely want to plan out your trip accordingly. So depending on the season, they may only do this day trip about once a week, maybe twice a week. It really depends. So when we went, unfortunately, we were not there on a day that we could go on this trip.
But you're gonna island hop and you see some of the most beautiful water and views that you can find in the Caribbean.
And lots of snorkeling throughout the day.
Definitely on our next trip, we will plan to do this. The last thing I want to talk about is a local experience that very few people get to do in St. Vincent. Before coming here, I had some friends who are Vinci who gave me recommendations to try to see the blackfish. So I had no idea what blackfish were, but when I heard local experiences, this was right up my alley. We actually got this experience in Barrouallie, which is on the leeward side of the island. Actually, our friend Mark, who took us on the Pirates of the Caribbean Rock, is from Barrouallie. And he took us around, and we were so lucky that when he brought us on shore, they actually caught a blackfish that day. And the thing that I didn't know is that a blackfish actually is a pilot whale, and they are so big. Also, the whole community gets involved. It's a whole process to bring the whale on shore, to take the blubber, to preserve it, to cook it. Every part of the whale gets used. There was different art forms, and it was just a big community event to find a blackfish. So if you do want to have this local experience, please be sure to reach out to Mark, and he definitely will hook you guys up. So there you guys have it. Our top 10 things to do in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let us know in the comments below if we missed anything and if you're excited to plan your next trip. So thank you guys so much for checking out our channel. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we truly appreciate you because you could be anywhere in the world but you're rocking with the Choose, and we appreciate that. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Choose out.